Carole Hamilton, The Untold Story, Part 2.
Okay. Now where?
College. How'd you decide where to go?
Well, Charles wanted to go to North Texas, and so I wanted to go to North Texas.
Okay.
We were pretty thick.
That was a long way from Amarillo and Borger.
Yeah, it was. But there, that's a long way. Amarillo Borger is a long way from anywhere.
Yes, it is.
True.
So
You followed your man.
I tell you what, we
Stands by her
loved North
man.
Texas. We loved it. It was hopping place. Lots going on. Lots of wonderful kids down there from Dallas and Fort Worth. You know, all the people. You know, a lot of kids from Dallas and Fort Worth were there. That was a fun place to be. And not only that, but the big thing about North Texas was not only the school and fraternity, sororities, and all that, but they had the North Texas Lab Band. And every Tuesday and Thursday we'd go down and dance at the country club when the lab band was playing. We had a ball.
That sounds fun.
Well, that was Professor Graham.
That's right. That's right.
Were you in a sorority?
I was a Zeta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
I did. It was we didn't have sorority houses. We had a big building that was divided into 9 sections, and each one had its own sorority. So we had, it's called a ramp, and so we had a sorority ramp.
Interesting.
And that's where we had our meetings, and some of the members stayed there.
I wonder what that building was. Do you remember the name?
It was an old dorm that was divided into 9 sections. Yeah, I could probably point it out to you, but it was kind of a little bit off the campus.
So where did you live?
Well, first I lived in the dorms, and then I moved to the ramp. That was where the action was.
And where did Charles live?
Charles lived in the Lambda Chi house, which is on, what's the name of that street?
It was over, when I was there, it was over kind of by the basketball arena, but the basketball arena wasn't there then. And
Well,
Texas Pickup and...
It was on one of those old streets, and it was a beautiful house. And oh, I'd forgotten this. Charles and I broke up for a little while, and during that time,
So what happened?
Huh?
What happened?
Why did you break up?
Oh well, you know, I don't know. It wasn't my problem. It was his problem. And so.
He's not here to defend himself. So.
Then that's what happened.
You can bank on it. And so anyway, during that time, of course, we were both dating other people. But where was that all of that? We had.
So did you pick up and date that Pat Boone guy then?
No.
All right.
He was already a star.
He was already gone. Yeah, he was there a little earlier.
He was ahead of me. And yeah, but we used to go to dances at the some of the places, and Tuesdays and Thursdays we'd have dances like at 2:30 in the afternoon. It's really fun.
So when you
Hopping
broke up
place.
with Dad, you were going to these dances with who?
Yeah. Well, everybody was there.
So did you go with your girlfriends or?
Sure, go with the girlfriends. I didn't have a car. And but
did
then
Dad have a car?
During that time, I was oh, that's where I was going. I was voted to be the Crescent Girl of the Year.
Wow.
By Lambda Chi.
And you were broken up with your Lambda Chi.
Now tell me how that happened. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. Did Bill and Bob join Lambda Chi because of Chuck? Do you know anything about why they joined?
Well, because they got, you know, it's like when you go up to the school, you meet with people that the people you know.
Yeah.
So Charles knew everybody at Lambda Chi, and I'm sure that they were exposed to the Lambda Chi group. There's Kappa Alpha is also there, and many other qualified, you know, fraternities are there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of who you get to know, and Lambda Chi was the partying group. So
That's why the Coors sales went so well.
I guess so. It was not the smartest group but they had the best time.
There's something to be said for a good time.
And then did you go down to Dallas some on the weekends?
Yeah, we went a lot, lots to Dallas. It's just an hour from Denton.
Yeah, what would
So
you do in
just
Dallas?
dash over there. Hmm?
What would you do in
Well,
Dallas?
we go to
or-
where there were live bands and stuff. Yeah, and of course everybody went where everybody else went. And a lot of people lived in Dallas and Fort Worth and went to school in North Texas. So there were a lot of homes to go and stay. And
Yeah, 'cause it was
Oh,
still
yeah.
a commuter school for a lot of the part.
What was your major?
I majored in secondary education.
So you thought about being a teacher?
Yeah, I guess I got very practical, but I was still a ballet student.
Yes. Did you want to be a professional dancer?
I I I probably wanted to be, but I think I was too heavy.
Mm.
I wasn't real skinny, and I wasn't heavy. I mean, I only weighed 118 pounds, but boy, ballet dancers are very
Yeah.
They have a type.
lithe and very so. So I was a I think I was an expert dancer, but anyway, I got distracted.
By someone named Chuck.
Yeah.
And then
Sure.
Cynthia came along at some point then too, right? 'Cause she was in school then.
Yes, she was. Were you in school with?
Let's see.
Oh, but if it's 5 years difference, maybe
Yeah.
not. You were already
Okay.
out by the time Bob got there, probably.
No, let's see. Well, almost.
So, you got married before you graduated, right?
I did. I got married third year in college, and then we went back and had a little place on campus to finish school.
So September 7th, 56.
So why the decision to get married before you graduated?
It was time. We've been going together since high school.
But you had just broken up a year or two before that for a bit.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Was that, so I'm also with Anne. The general tendency of most people is to wait for graduation, get married, and then do whatever. Did you get any pushback from people about getting
No,
married?
we got married and had a really cute little apartment in a duplex. Next door lady was really nice. She was one of my let's see, she was a teacher. No, we were ready to get married.
No pushbacks from the parents?
No, as long as we finished school, and really married students are a lot more dependable than single students.
So, did your dad continue to pay for your education even after you got married?
Mm-hmm.
But
Only
you
1
went,
year.
the wedding was back in Borger, or where was the wedding?
In Borger at the
Okay.
First Presbyterian Church.
And that was right after
September 7th.
that school year had started.
Uh-huh.
You didn't want to get married during the summer before the school year, or is
I
that
don't,
when?
I don't recall part of that decision-making process.
Could have been the church availability,
It
or
could
the
have.
family, or.
Yeah.
Did a lot of
Yeah.
people come in for the wedding? Some of the Tulsa relatives?
Uh-huh.
Anne came in?
And, uh-huh.
Who else do you remember?
If you're getting married that day, you don't remember that much.
Yes.
But I do remember my dad in his tuxedo, how wonderful he looked.
Yep, I've seen that
Sarah
photo.
Callaghan loved.
Did you cry when you walked down the aisle?
No.
Are you a crier in general?
Mm-mm.
Okay. What did Chuck look like when he saw you?
Chuck.
Charles, your husband.
Oh. Gosh, I don't know. When you said Chuck, I'm thinking son.
Yes.
Right.
Jack.
Do you remember
Yeah,
what?
I always called him Charles.
Right.
His friends call him Chuck.
Mhm.
'Cause
Yeah.
I knew somebody did. Okay.
I always called him Charles, and his friends called him Chuck.
Interesting.
What
Good to know.
church was the wedding at?
First Pres in Borger.
First
Very-
Presbyterian.
Yeah,
Yeah, she'd already said that.
it's still there. I go by there when I go home.
Yeah, we haven't been up there in a while. 4 years or so.
I've never been.
You haven't ever
Really?
been up there?
I
That's a pretty-
cannot believe
We've gone
you've
up
been
and
there.
seen the old houses and
Yeah.
saw what's left of Electric City and
We're taking a trip.
Okay.
Our house is still there. Bill and I went there, and it was empty. Somebody was clearing it out, and said they were moving in. So we got to go in to see the house, but the hospital has been completely raised, and a whole new building has been built on top of that property. Now I remember when we moved in. Dad moved into that hospital. I can
Wow.
remember.
And Bill said he tried to find your dad's portrait that used to
oh
hang.
right.
Oh yeah.
It used to hang, that oil, it was an oil painting of,
All the chief medical doctors.
Right.
yeah, he only said of his dad
Mm.
and your dad used to hang there, and he's been trying to find it. I hope nobody destroyed it.
Nobody would.
Yeah, but where do you
I
store
don't
that stuff?
remember an oil painting. I remember a photograph.
An official hospital portrait.
So, Charles went to the army.
And where did he protect?
He
In the army?
protected Fort Riley, Kansas.
And it's still free and safe.
It is, and
And
we
it is
had
still
a
free
cute,
and safe.
we had a cute little duplex up there. We had a really good time, and had Chuck up there.
How much
That's
did
where Chuck was born.
How much?
1960.
How much did his birth cost? Do you remember?
$7 or something. It was very cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
But I still remember talking to the doctors in the delivery room.
About what?
Well, you just talk, waiting
Yeah,
for things to happen.
passing time.
I still remember that.
So Chuck was born.
Mm-hmm.
In
And
the
then,
army.
let's see, where was Richard? Midland, I think. Yeah, and no, Ann was born in Midland.
She was Amarillo.
Oh, Ann was in Amarillo, okay.
We saw that house one time too. That was a nice house.
That was the two-story house
Yes.
on the park.
Yep, right off of the park.
Yeah.
We saw that.
Parkview Lane was the name.
Yes. Yeah, so Richard must have been Midland then
Yeah.
in 62.
Must have been.
So you got married. You graduated college. What did y'all do after that?
Charles was, a lot of his friends worked for IBM, and he was interested in IBM, so.
So how do you get from Army in Kansas to Midland?
Well, you come back to school. You get out of the army and you come back to school and finish school.
Oh,
come back.
okay.
And he finished his, I think that's what happened. He finished his last year, but and then he went to work for IBM.
In Midland first, or
Yeah.
Were you set to graduate the same year?
Well, we were the same age.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in your senior year, he was drafted?
He was drafted in his junior year.
Okay, okay. But that's why he came back, because he didn't finish, okay. So, so you're up there, I see why you asked that question now. He graduates, you go to IBM.
Yeah.
Were you working?
No, I was having family.
Okay,
No, but no, I was working. I was teaching school. Let's see, I was teaching school in Denton. That's what it was. One of my favorite people was the school teacher in Denton. She was my mentor. And I taught school in Denton. And then we moved to Midland.
what did you think about teaching?
Well, of course, I loved it.
Well, not of course. Not everybody loves kids or teaching.
Yeah.
But you did.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
What, do you remember what grade you taught? What
It
level?
was junior high school.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, wow. That's a tough place to start.
Yeah.
You're one of
That was
those special people.
Denton Junior High.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mhm.
So how many years? Just one or two?
I think just one.
Okay.
Because then we moved, and he was off on his career, and we were off to a family and doing the American dream, living the American dream in Midland. And Midland was a very prosperous community. It was an oil town,
Mhm.
you know. Well, actually, it was a town where the executives of the oil companies lived, and the people lived in Odessa.
Right.
Huh. So segregation, interesting.
Kind of a looking back, and that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of
So you have good memories of
Mhm.
Midland?
huge backyard. Well, at least as big as this backyard, but it was all, it was a big backyard for a West Texas town. And we bought an older house. We bought a house from an older couple, and I really liked it because it had beautiful carpet in it, and it was all settled and real nice for our first house. And then we bought another house. Tom Walker was his boss.
Yeah, I knew one of the friends went back
And-
all the way there.
And Tom Walker and his wife Charmin became our best friends.
Yeah.
And when they left, we bought their house.
Where did they go? Did they go to Dallas then,
I
or?
think Tom went with another company or something.
Okay.
But IBMers were the top hirees among the computer industry because they knew the industry. Nobody else knew the industry. All these young companies were just getting started. They were behind IBM. So IBM was top drawer, and that's what Charles was doing. And then people started picking off the IBMers to come and get some equity in another startup company, and that's how the computer industry really blew up. As the IBMers would leave IBM and go chase their dreams in a new company and build a lot of equity, and that's how it all built up.
Did Charles leave?
Eventually he left. I forgot where.
Honeywell.
Oh, yeah.
Some point he went to Honeywell.
Yeah.
Which wasn't that Tom Walker too, or one of your friends got him to Honeywell? I don't remember which.
I don't think it was Tom, but I think it might have been somebody else.
It wasn't Gene.
Well, he came later.
Yeah.
We met Gene in Dallas.
So Charles is working. You're at home raising kids. Do you remember, did you have, I know it's very busy having children. What did you do socially? Did you go out to cocktail parties with Charles, or play tennis with your girlfriends, or?
Yeah, I did play a lot of tennis.
Yeah.
That was during the day.
Did you play bunco? Did they have bunco back then?
They might have had it, but I didn't play it.
Yeah, I've never played, but I've heard.
Did you watch the soap operas?
I'm sure they were on, whether I watched them or not. Yeah. But of course, we were involved with kids in school and children, and you know, when you have young families, that things are very, very busy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what was Amarillo, Honeywell or IBM?
Uh, Charles went to work for a company in Midland. It wasn't IBM. It was another company. Forgot the name of it. It was owned by a private individual, and so Charles kind of took the leadership for that company. I forgot what was the name of it. That's kind of how you way IBMers would take their IBM
Right.
experience and turn it over in new companies and get.
And that may be in the interview with Charles. I don't remember what got you to Amarillo.
But I loved Amarillo. It was a very hospitable cultural and social environment. We had a ball in Amarillo. Met so many wonderful friends that we still have today. Bob and Bonnie Sanders.
That's who we saw. Yeah,
Yeah,
we've seen them out there
yeah.
a while back.
Virginia. What was their name? Anyway, we met some really nice people.
When you still had a lot of the family was still there then.
They were in Borger. So that's pretty close.
Was Dr. Kimball still alive?
Let's see. About when he passed away.
That's when Bill was in college.
Oh,
I know
so
Dad
he
was on the
wasn't.
cusp.
Yeah, he wasn't there at that point by the time you got, because Amarillo's 64, 63 or 64.
Excuse me, Mother was there for sure. She had moved from University into town. We had a red house in town. She moved there.
Were
What
Charles'
town?
sisters still living in town?
Mm-hmm.
What town?
Yeah. Borger. And they lived just outside Borger in a little kind of a camp outside Borger. Their husbands worked for Phillips. So Charles had a lot of family there, and his mother was there. And
So would you go there for holidays?
mm-hmm.
That's neat that you were
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. And then what happened?
Well, then you ended up in Dallas
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah, he went to work for some company that Tom Walker had in Dallas or knew about. It was just a burgeoning industry. So we moved to Dallas, and I was so excited about our house. We had a lot of friends in Amarillo who had nice houses. So I was so glad to find a two-story house. It was really nice over on Cliff Brook.
That was a nice house.
It was a nice house, and I loved it.
I remember looking at houses when we were looking for a house in Dallas. We were living with Bill.
I think everyone has lived with Bill.
In his townhouse.
We all owe him.
Yes.
Yes, he's such good. I mean, anywho, we were living with Bill. The whole family was living with Bill. Yeah, yeah. In the townhouse. I remember the boys discovered his Playboys.
Playboy magazine.
Yeah, I don't think he did much to hide them at that point,
Yeah, it was
probably.
pretty funny. And I remember going and walking down and looking at the toy store, which is down the street from his house on, I forget the name of the street. But anyway,
Is that Lovers, the
yeah.
other side of Lovers, or I remember seeing the townhouse.
Yeah. So anyway, I remember looking at houses, and we looked at a lot of houses. And there's one we looked at that you really liked, and it had a really nice master bath. And I remember the master bath because it had gold swans for the faucet.
Yeah, that's pretty swanky.
Yeah, it was pretty swanky, but that was one story house. I think I remember after going to look at the 2-story house.
I wanted a two-story because I thought it suited our family better. All the children were upstairs and the adults were downstairs, and that was wonderful.
Made it
For
easier for the
them
boys
and
to
for
sneak
us.
in and out. Do you remember, I know this came up in one other interview, how much the house cost?
I think it was $65,000 to $70,000.
I thought it was like 20s or 30s, they had said.
Was it Bill?
I don't
No,
remember.
I wasn't that cheap.
That
Because
was that was as far north as you could go, pretty much.
Well, yeah, it was.
Mhm.
Arapahoe was probably the farther north as we could go, but Tom and Charmin lived in kind of equidistant from us, so we felt comfortable being there.
Where were Tom and Charmin, do you remember then?
Yeah, oh yeah, sure. They were just across Hillcrest from us.
Oh, okay.
when I'm interested in your first job after being a teacher.
Oh gosh, did I go to law school?
No.
You had a lot before then.
I think she said she was raising the kids.
Well, she was raising the kids, but she was a realtor in there
I
somewhere.
was a
Oh,
realtor with
yeah.
Paula Stringer Realtors. That's
But
right.
there were, I thought there were other jobs as
No,
other
I think that was
careers.
her first
Okay,
job
so teacher and then
after,
realtor.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
cause I remember her going back to school. I mean, back to work.
Yeah, and
And
Paula
it was
Stringer was
with
one of
Paula
the major
Stringer.
realtors there, and I enjoyed that job a lot.
I bet you were good at it.
Well, the ladies were great, you know, really entrepreneurs at heart. And that's what I liked.
That's where you met Kay Cotter.
Uh huh.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
right.
really?
That's right.
was she a client or was she?
She was an employee of Paula Stringer. Paula Stringer had two offices. They were so popular. There was a North Dallas office and then another office. They were in the same building, and so as it turns out, she bought the house across the street from us
After that.
after that.
See, I always thought you met them just from them living across
No.
the street.
No,
Was
no,
that
we knew that. We knew them before that.
was it an accident or did they intentionally look for something close to you?
They looked for something in our area because it was a good area,
Okay.
and that was a good move because we were good neighbors and friends ever since.
Yeah,
Charles and Ella were buddies.
yeah. And you still talk to Kay almost every week.
Yeah, yeah, she's been a very lovely friend.
So how old? When? I guess where in the kids' lives did you become a realtor? How old were they? Do you remember?
Well, they were quite young because that's before I went to law school.
I remember when you went to law
No.
school. That was
Uh,
They were young.
yeah, like, we weren't that young.
late elementary, early junior
I think
high.
Chuck was in college.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah, and then,
not when I was in the real estate business.
yeah, while you were in the real estate, because it wasn't until you thought about going to law school as he was studying to go to law school, because you picked up one of his law books. That's why you were behind him in law
I
school.
was behind him.
Yes.
He was my superior.
So he was already in college, trying to go through college, when you were at Paul Stringer.
Yeah. That's
How
true.
long were you a realtor?
Oh, not very long. 3 years or something.
Okay. And law pulled you away?
Uh huh. I guess so.
Neat.
I guess I was pretty ambitious. More ambitious than I needed to be, I guess.
I would argue that your mind you needed the stimulation. This is my judgment. You needed the stimulation, the excitement of
I
didn't
liked
he?
school.
Yeah, learn.
Yeah.
I could see you love learning,
Yeah, I did. I liked school.
and I
And
could see law really challenging you
yeah.
over and over and over again.
I never thought it would bother Chuck. I never even gave that a single thought.
Your son, Chuck,
Uh-huh.
did it?
I don't know. I think it did.
Wow.
I think it did bother him. I mean, I could see that it would, but we've never had a conversation about it. But I never even gave that a thought.
I don't
I've,
think it bothered him.
I've never thought that.
I think what bothered him was when y'all were in court together and you did the motherly thing on him.
No, I wouldn't do that.
You did
No.
it, yeah, in court,
Uh-uh.
and he was like, "Oh, get away from me."
I think it's fiction.
Okay.
You don't act like that in court.
Well, apparently
I could see him.
Chuck said you did.
I can
Okay.
see him hearing it through his filter.
Yeah,
Whatever
I
you
could.
did.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, yeah, whatever.
But I would never do that in court, knowingly.
I mean, I can't imagine it either because you weren't like the motherly type.
Like coddling and
Yeah.
cooing.
No, or pawing
Sit
or.
down, dear. Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't the motherly type like that.
But you know, from his eyes, maybe it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At any rate,
you were the only mother he knew, so.
Let's see.
So, you're in law school and, um, and dad is working for
some computer company.
some computer company, Interlink or something like that, with Mike Potts, right?
Oh, that was a wonderful era, the Potts era.
I want names. I want eras.
That was really fun. We enjoyed that family a whole lot because the parents got together. I mean, they really enjoyed one another, and we enjoyed their family. They were a big family and loved their family. So we learned a lot about having family through them. And they've been some of our best friends along with the Connors for many years.
What was the connection? How did you meet Mike?
Through work, they both worked with computer-related companies in the industry. You know, one go to work for one company, one go to work for another, and they it eventually worked in the same company. I
Yeah,
forget which
probably
company.
a small world,
Yes.
that industry.
And they're from Chicago, and then they moved to Dallas, and that's when you really got to know them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we used to have wonderful parties at their big house. They had a big house on a circle in Dallas, and of course they had what 5 or 6 children.
Wow.
And so they had a huge house, and Mike was a big party, but Bobby's a wonderful party giver. And so it was just a party. We had a wonderful time.
Did you sell them that house?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't think so. But Bobby is still in Chicago, and she was supposed to come here in September, but I think because of COVID, that she didn't come. She was
Yeah.
supposed to come and visit. She's got family still here.
Yeah.
So.
There are a lot of same reason you're not in London or
Yeah.
England right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But okay, and so what company was Dad working when he got the offer for London?
Yeah, I'm sure he was. Sure he was.
Because that wasn't long after you went to law school, was it?
No.
Because
No.
you got your pin or whatever it is you do from Chuck at the embassy when we were over there that Christmas before y'all came back.
Oh, do you remember that?
because I was like, I walked into the American Embassy and I thought, oh my God, I'm home. It feels so good. America feels so good.
American.
Did you really?
Yes, I was so homesick. I just,
Oh.
so yes,
That
and then
small of a trip, you got homesick?
I I didn't travel. It was, I had issues. But it was really, Chuck wanted to do whatever he was.
Hooding. It's a
Hooding.
hooding or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
No, the hooding, I was at
The
the
hooding
hooding
was at the law school.
Okay.
at the SMU Law
Yeah,
School.
But,
uh,
but it was
I,
something.
It was
Yeah.
something official because
It
you
was
were going to
after
see.
you took your bar and passed. Because when you left, you didn't have the results from your bar
Okay.
Oh,
exam.
okay.
So, anyway,
Pretty
let's
exciting.
backtrack a little.
Yeah.
Let's backtrack a little. Uh, Dad was working for some company, and then the offer for London came in. Tell us about that.
I don't remember much about that. I just know that we were so excited. And we went. We got to London and obtained, an agent to help us find a house. We found a house right on one of the main streets. It was a part of another building, and it was an old in English, right on one of the main streets there in rural, not rural London, but just outside London. And Lee Kenyon,
I thought that painting was up here, but it's not. It must be in
Lee
the,
Kenyon was an artist there, and Charles went over and got to know him, and then so did I, and we became fast friends. And Lee, when Charles was off traveling, Lee would take me and show me all over London, and I just had the best time, and it was really fabulous.
and that was Mygent, the company.
Oh, was it Magent?
Yeah, they did
right.
modems and other things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
did Chuck immediately get brought in as corporate attorney?
No, that
Richard
wasn't until
Sales, or
after
was
they
that
moved
later?
back from London.
Oh, okay, so they weren't, Chuck and Richard weren't working there with them
No.
immediately?
No.
No. Gosh, I don't really, a lot of this I don't even remember. But those Magent days, and then of course, computer savvy people were always sought after, and so there was never time when Charles didn't have opportunity.
How long were you in London?
A couple of years, I think.
Okay.
And I think Richard came over before you came over because you didn't go over right away. You had to finish law school. So Dad went over first, and y'all
Yeah.
were separated for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I remember going to visit Dad with you. I have pictures.
Well, wasn't that a wonderful opportunity for our family?
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it really was.
Just a lovely, lovely time. And that place y'all found there was so different than, I mean, than just a regular flat.
The
It was
B&B
really
kind of
pretty. It
thing.
had skylights all in the kitchen. It had this garden in the front. It was really pretty.
Huge garden in the back.
Huge.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a shed or something in the beginning?
There was No, the house wasn't. The house was a big two-story house.
Yeah, but didn't it start out as like the shed to the building that sat next to it? Okay. I forgot it was two-story.
Yeah, it was a big house.
Yeah, it was big, but it had a lot of light. Because it was separate from its own. It was a separate building. the whole, it was a separate building, so we got to have skylights and all
There
that.
was- There wasn't anybody above
There wasn't
them?
anybody on top, or of, it was a separate building adjacent to a bunch of flats.
Okay.
You remember that?
Are you thinking of the apartment that we had, or?
Yeah, I'm talking about the little flat, two-story flat he had.
Okay, okay.
You have a picture of it. Where is it?
It must be out by the piano, 'cause it used to be here, but it's not.
Yeah, Lee Kenyon painted a picture of it.
Hmm. I don't know.
It's around somewhere still.
Yeah, but it was beautiful. And then you would travel all around. When I came down, me and you and Richard
Well, you could
traveled.
travel from there, you know, in an hour you could be in Europe.
Yeah.
So it was.
Well, that was before the tunnel to France.
So you just take a ferry?
Yeah, but we went to Scotland
Hmm.
and met Dad there.
What other places did you go?
Gosh. We just went to anywhere we could, you know. We did spend some time in France.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Do you speak any French?
I took French in college, so I should be able to.
Yeah, that didn't answer the question.
Well, it sort of does.
Yeah, I took 2 years of French and all I know is murky buckets and come and tie my shoe.
Ooh, I don't even want to hear that.
And Pepe Le Pew.
That's funny.
Oh, goodness.
Okay,
Well,
so
I remember visiting one time and getting off the train from the airport, and you met me wearing a leather mini skirt. And I couldn't believe it.
racy.
Well,
She
England
died.
was a very hot, you know, place.
Fashion forward
Yeah,
place.
very. London.
Yeah.
Really? You were shocked?
I was shocked. I mean, I was shocked. Like, really?
Good.
That was funny.
Of course, we were always glad to get back to Texas, but.
Yeah, but we never got Richard back.
Yeah.
He's never
Oh.
moved back.
God
Yeah.
bless him.
So then after, what happened with Mygent?
Oh, I can't.
Did they close up their Europe office or?
I can't remember.
We ended up in Nevada
Nevada,
before. That's where
Oh,
it
that was
closed
fun.
up.
We lived
That
in
was
Nevada.
the home
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
You lived in Nevada?
Mhm.
For how?
On the lake, Incline Village. It
Yeah.
was gorgeous. They had a gorgeous condo. Oh my God, it was right there on the lake.
It was beautiful and right close to California.
Was that near Tahoe?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if when we were with Bill, did we stay at your condo?
I don't think so.
Okay. Because I had no recollection of you being in Nevada, but we went to Tahoe once with Bill. Maybe that was when we were visiting him.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Well, let
when
me
I was
tell
in
you, it
junior
was
high.
a two-horse town. On a mountain. I mean, there was one street.
Oh, wow.
But
And
it was
didn't-
beautiful.
Alyssa ended up being born in Tahoe, right? Or moved out there shortly. I'm thinking she was
I'm not
born out
sure.
there.
Yeah, she might have been. Because Chuck joined Mygent after
Yeah,
y'all
that's
moved.
true.
Mm.
We had a little problem with the company because, you
Yeah.
know, there were too many Hamiltons
Really?
employed at Mygent. I think they began to be resented.
Oh,
So we tried to keep a low profile.
huh.
Yeah, anyway, Chuck was asked to come and help them get out of their legal messes. Cause you weren't working as a margin attorney, were you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So they asked Chuck
Yeah.
to come down. So Chuck came down with his girlfriend and rented a place there, and that's where Cindy was conceived.
Alyssa.
Alyssa, sorry. Alyssa was conceived. But then,
Gosh, I'm glad you all are remembering all this, 'cause
Yeah, I don't know a lot of, well, I'm just a cousin.
but then you left Nevada. I think, I don't know if Budget closed or
Yeah, that's where it closed up.
it closed up. Okay. So, I was living in Dallas, and I get a call that y'all are moving back to town. So, y'all showed up with a trailer at my apartment complex and stayed for a while.
But you held on to the Cliffbrook house. Did
They
you
were
hold?
renting it
They were
out.
renting it out.
yeah, we
'Cause then you
owned that a long time.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
ended
okay.
up down at Brookhaven
Yeah, that's
for a
right.
couple years.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
Brookhaven.
But that's where we had the engagement party, was in Brookhaven.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
Then you went back into Cliffbrook for
Yeah.
a little bit.
I don't remember if I was with you when Mom and Dad moved back.
Yes,
Was I with
I
you?
think so. I mean, I remember them coming back, being on Brookhaven. I don't remember them being in your apartment complex, though.
Well, they showed up with a trailer because they took everything.
But I remember
From the
you
condo.
I remember you going to visit them in Tahoe
Oh,
way
Oh,
back
okay,
in the
well,
beginning.
then,
So
they took so the condo you were living in. I think the guy was gonna sell it, and he said take whatever you want. So a lot of the stuff, like that, is from the condo. A lot
Oh
of
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. My gosh, I'd forgotten that. Yeah.
So you brought a lot of really cool stuff from the condo.
I did.
I was like, yay! You just hit it.
Yeah, that's right.
and the Thompsons were living right there. They were down in Brookhaven too. They were right around the corner from you.
I don't recall that.
Yep.
Do you recall that?
Mm-mm.
I remember you were living in one condo, and then, do you remember this, Carol? Dad had that one wall upstairs in the bedroom, and it was this
Oh,
is
the TV
before
wall.
this is before flat screen TVs, and he had probably like a wall of TVs.
Yes. I don't know if it was a wall, but maybe 5.
5 or 6, because he
Six,
could
at
get all the
least.
different channels.
Yeah, so he could watch
I
all the
remember that.
sports.
Yeah.
Do you
That was in the apartment when we moved in it, because it was done by the guy who lived there.
Oh,
And it
is
was
that?
already up. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
already up. Yeah, I remember that.
And that was from the oddest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that for anything, but yeah, that was already up.
Oh, he loved that. He loved
You
that.
could watch all the games at the same time.
Yeah, He just. You remember that, Kelly?
Yeah. That's
that
probably
wall.
the only
You
thing.
walk in and you're like, what's this wall of TVs? And that was before flat screen.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were just like the little 17-inch TVs that everyone ended up throwing out years later.
How many years were you in Nevada?
Not long.
Okay. And then how, in Brookhaven?
I mean, not long.
You've moved a
Yeah.
lot, is what
But
I'm
we
hearing.
we did hang on to Cliff Brook.
Yes.
That
I
was
think
our
that's a
home.
wise,
That was
wise
our
investment.
home.
Yeah, and at one point, the woman that was renting didn't want to move out when you wanted to move back in. And there was
I don't
some
remember
negotiation
that.
with that. Yeah, she didn't want to move out. Had to do something to talk
But
her into getting out.
She's renting, I mean, does she
Well,
have?
she was in the middle of the
Well,
contract, or
yeah.
there was an automatic renewal or something, and she just, at some point, didn't want to get out, and something had to be negotiated to get her out.
Did you ever get back to the Cliffbrook house?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did for a couple. Cause remember, Max and the kids had Christmas there,
Oh, that's right.
and
birthday.
we got iced in at Thanksgiving when
Oh,
the big
yeah.
ice storm.
Yeah.
There was a birthday party for Max at Cliffbrook.
Yes,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and I put together a bike in the garage all night.
Mhm. That was
Good
a beau-
memories.
That was a beautiful house.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Or
y'all
maybe
were
that
able
was
to
a
get
Christmas
back in
there.
again.
When I put together the bike all night.
It's a beautiful house, and Mom had done so much improvements from when it was first bought.
I did. There was
Be-
carpet everywhere.
Oh.
So we had to
It,
pull up
it
all
wasn't
the carpet.
just carpet, Mother. It was shag carpet. It
And we
was
painted.
Oh my
Painted
God.
white inside.
It was shag
Yeah.
carpeting in it, and it was like I remember the living room was blue, like 3 different kind of blues.
Well,
Blues
the
and greens.
wall was wood,
Oh, my.
dark wood.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I painted it all white.
'Cause I was
Right.
probably a lot shorter, and I was closer to the floor.
But it did have shag carpet.
Yeah.
It was green and yellow shag carpet. Remember?
Upstairs, I had orange, yellow, and green shag carpet,
Oh yeah.
and then shag. Another room had peaks shag carpeting.
Pretty colorful.
It was pretty colorful.
Very 70s.
It was very similar. She did a lot to that house.
I love
Painted
that
the stone fireplace.
Yeah,
Yep.
She painted the stone
Just like
fireplace.
that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
She put in French doors toward the
Yeah,
back.
they
Oh, that's right.
She
That's
painted the.
hardwood
Did you
floors.
paint the paneling?
Yeah.
You painted the
And then
paneling?
did you guys put in the deck out back, or was that there?
No, that was already there.
Really?
She did put a hole in the wall. For you know the living dining area.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She put a hole in the wall from
To
the
open it up.
den.
Yeah.
Well, it was more than a hole. It was a
Whole wall.
room size
A room size hole.
removal of wall. Yeah, that was fun. I'm glad we remembered that. That was a lot of fun.
You did a lot of work on that
Yeah.
house. All over. Upstairs, downstairs, all
Just
over.
ongoing? Or was there a big push in the beginning and then,
Oh, I can't remember. I think we lived there a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
We
But
lived
that was
there
a good house for our family.
Yeah, we lived there most of my life. We got there when I was in second grade.
Well, I got the inspiration from the houses in Amarillo, because I had a lot of friends Virginia Maynard had this beautiful 2-story home in Amarillo. She's an old Amarillo family, and so I aspired to that. I wanted to participate in that. So that's
Is
where I
that
got
when
the
you
inspiration.
painted that oil painting to match the couches from that New Yorker magazine?
That one right behind.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, when did I do that?
You paint?
I did that before we moved to Dallas.
Oh, 'cause I
In
thought you
Amarillo,
did-
I did it in Amarillo,
Okay.
in the dining room.
Because it matched the couches. You had the couches we covered at one point, and that painting matched it perfectly. I think maybe
I
you were
can't
trying
remember
to
that.
find fabric that matched it.
I do remember a tulip
That
fabric.
is a copy of a New Yorker
Oh.
magazine cover. My mother took the New Yorker magazine because was always a New Yorker.
Sure.
And that is the cover of a New Yorker magazine that I took. And we were Amarillo. We were moving to Dallas, and I said, I've got to get this painting done before we go.
It's fabulous.
Isn't that fabulous?
So
Did you do any other painting, or
Rush
was
job.
it?
that was a one-off.
Yeah.
But I was doing other painting, but I mean, not like that.
Okay.
You know, it's like anything else. I do it differently if I'm doing it now. You know, but time is of the essence when you're ready to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. I was amazed at your skills at an oil
Well-
painting.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing about it was the cover was an oil with ink drawing over on top of it. That's why I thought it was so unusual.
Yeah.
It was an unusual combination of techniques. That's what I liked about it.
We should get a copy
Oh yeah.
of that magazine and put it up next
Oh,
to
wouldn't
that
that be good?
sometime.
I bet I had one at one time. I know I did. Had one at one time.
So okay. Anywho,
Are we?
being multi-talented, uh, um, so you moved into and then you finally moved back. Finally, and then what prompted? And y'all stayed there for a while. This time, and what prompted the selling of the Cliffbrook
That's a
house?
good question. I don't remember that.
What I remember was just it was going to be an older house and more maintenance, and you wanted a house that was newer and with less maintenance.
Well, this was it.
Yeah.
Probably smaller.
Smaller,
up in
a little
Plano and
smaller, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 'cause that was a big house.
Yes.
That was,
Yeah.
A lot of house.
It had, what, 4 bedrooms upstairs?
Yeah, 4 upstairs and then one downstairs and a den and an office, you know,
Oh
Yeah,
and
an
a
office.
den and a living room,
A
a
den,
kitchen,
a living
and
room, a kitchen,
breakfast
a
room.
dining room, a breakfast room, a bar.
yeah,
yeah. And
It
a
had-
creek.
And a
And a
creek,
creek.
on a creek lot. Yeah, everybody loved that house. So, you'd been in that house, let me see, you bought it in the, what, 70?
I think it was 70s.
Yeah, around
71 or
70,
2 or
seven,
something.
yeah, early 70s.
Uh-huh.
So, when did y'all move here? 90s?
90, well, it was after Max was born,
How old is Max?
so it was like 95 or 96 when you moved up here. Because we had Halloween's up here with Max and Alyssa and Chase and Parker when they were little, so it was like 96 maybe.
Well, I was in 2nd grade when we moved into the Cliffbrook house. So I was probably like 7.
Well, yeah, so that's like 71 or 72.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's early 70s.
Second grade would have been 71, 72 for you.
Okay. So they were in the Clifford house for about 20 years. Is that right?
On and off.
Yeah.
I mean, because
They
it was
owned
rented
it.
out. Yeah, they owned it.
owned it
A little over 20 years.
Yeah.
for a little over 20 years.
Yeah.
So and then you bought this house.
This was a good buy too. I mean, it suited us. It wasn't so big. We got this beautiful creek.
And tell us about the planning of that whole deck,
Patio.
the patio.
That was my,
Italian marble.
Passion
Yeah.
project.
yeah.
I've never seen a backyard like that ever. In anybody's house. Kelly, you
Well,
ever-
yeah, and we put in the pond, and it's a lot easier to care for.
Okay, Boodles.
That's on film, Boodles. He's like,
What's the problem? What?
what? I didn't do it.
It just fell.
Let's rewind and see that again.
Slow mo.
Oh, gosh.
He's still looking like, why is everyone
Okay.
looking at me?
Anybody else got another comment or anything?
Well-
You didn't talk about Richard and Chuck when they were little. Or,
For being a grandmother and great grandmother.
Oh, yeah.
silence.
Well, it's easy, very easy when somebody else does all the work.
That's why grandparenting is the
That's
best.
right.
But it was nice that all the grandkids grew up around you their
Yeah,
whole time, which is not always the case.
that's true.
I saw my grandmother every summer, and that was it.
Yeah, yeah, and not even every
Yeah,
summer.
Hmm.
maybe for the best though.
That's a good thing.
So you got
Yeah.
to spend a lot of time with all those kids.
That's right.
Well, I know Max spent a lot of time here. A lot of his childhood was spent in this house.
Well, how fun is that?
It's great. I mean, you know, we're so lucky to have you so close by.
Well, thank you. I'm the lucky one.
I feel like we're both lucky, you know.
I prefer to say it's been the Lord's plan. You know, God is in there somewhere.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, anything, did you have any stories of Chuck or Richard when they were little?
Oh,
About any trouble they used to get into?
We
what are you
don't have
talking about?
we don't have that kind of time.
They were perfect little cherubs.
Of course they were.
Cherubs.
They're not here to defend themselves. We had a lovely family, and I'm thankful. Thankful to still have them.
Yeah.
I wish we could see more of Richard.
I do too, but you know the Zoom is pretty good.
Yeah, yes ma'am.
Yep.
It really is. Be nice to see Chuck and Pam.
Yeah, yeah, that would
I
be
like 'em.
nice.
And their little grandson.
Yes. I bet he's 3 now?
He's one. He's one.
No, he's older than that. He was 2 last time we saw.
Yeah, he's gotta be
Is
2
he?
now.
He's not walking.
Yes, he is. He was walking. Remember me holding his hand?
Okay. Okay. I was thinking.
Yeah, I think he just turned 2.
Yeah, I
The
think
last
so.
birthday, which wasn't that
Yeah.
long ago.
Yeah.
Devin.
Caden.
Yeah.
Caden.
Caden.
Caden. He is the cutest thing. Adorable.
Yeah.
They're so lucky to have him. I know it was a big change in direction for them, but what a blessing.
Let me tell you, that kid, he just hangs on every. He just loves Chucks to death.
He does.
He does. I mean, just.
Well, he should.
Stability,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
guidance. Yeah.
Well, I think Pam was telling me that he also had a temper. I was like, really?
Yeah, we never saw that.
I never saw that.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, lady.
Well, thank you for the time and opportunity, and
We'll do it again in 20 years.
So what? Tomorrow's your birthday, and you're gonna be.
We don't need to deal, and then numbers aren't important. It's her birthday.
She's wise.
it's Kelly's birthday.
No.
No, that was a couple weeks
Tomorrow
ago.
is your birthday.
Oh, it's my birthday tomorrow.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Tomorrow's
Yeah,
your
that's
birthday,
right.
and
Tomorrow's my birthday, the 13th.
yep,
Lucky
September
day.
13th.
September 13th.
Followed closely by the 15th, which is Max and Berline's.
Yes.
Very good.
80 years apart
And
exactly.
then Mike's,
Wow.
Blah,
Mike's
blah,
is
blah, blah,
right
blah,
after
blah,
that.
blah, blah, blah.
Mike's
When is your
birthday
birthday,
is right
Mike?
after that.
30th.
30th. Okay.
And
'Cause
he
they
and
had-
I,
That was a good month. You know,
They had
9
wild
months
New
before-
Year's Eve parties in Rockford
I
3
was
years
gonna say,
in a row.
9 months before September is January. It's a very
Yeah.
cold month.
Yeah, we had
After
my
Christmas,
New
nothing
Year's.
else to do.
New
we had
Year's.
my cousin
New
was
Year's.
born because my mom and dad and my mom's cousin were best friends, so I'm sure they were celebrating New Year's Eve together. And year before me, my cousin was born on September 28th. The next year, I was born on September 30th. The next year, my sister was born on September 30th. So
Oh, really?
I'm
Yes.
sure they don't
What, the same
remember
birthday?
New
Yes.
Year's Eve's there for a few years.
Say goodnight, Carol.
Good night, Carol.
This has been a Boodles production.
Copyright 2020.
Oh, did you have to bring the year up again? You all won't get this, but read the books about 2020. It was not the best year.